Hi, and welcome back to Unit 6, Day 3, one-step mole to mass or mass to mole conversions. So we're now on example 4. Let's go ahead and get started. We'll start by reading the problem. How many moles of water are in a bottle containing 3.79 kilograms of water? So I read the problem, and the next thing I want to do is identify my given and my find. So remember, your given is the one that you have the value or the number for. I have a number for this, right, over here. So what is this value? Is it my mass? Is it my moles? So remember, we can use the units as our guide here. Kilograms is the unit for mass, all right? So that way I know that this is a unit of mass, I should say. So that way I know that my given is my mass. So my given is my mass. And what I'm asked to find here, how many moles, they're asking me for moles, I'm asked to find the moles. Now that I have that done, the next thing I'm going to do is map out my plan. So my plan is going from my given, so I'm starting with mass, and I'm going to moles. Okay. The next step is to determine the appropriate conversion factor. So water is H2O, by the way, right? So for these problems, since I'm going from mass to moles or moles to mass, my conversion factor will come from my molar mass. So we know that it will be 1 mole of H2O is equivalent to whatever the molar mass of H2O is. And I actually have to calculate that. So let me just do that underneath really quick. So I'll go to my periodic table. H2O is made up of 2 hydrogens, each with average atomic mass of 1.01. So it's going to be 2 times 1.01 plus, it has 1 oxygen, and oxygen, oops, by the way, has a mass of 16.00. So that means that the molar mass here is 18.02. Now once again, this is just my scratch work, so I'm not using any units here, but I do use them for my conversion factor. So 1 mole of H2O is equivalent to 18.02 grams of H2O. Okay. And now that I've gotten that done, I feel like I'm ready to set up. All right. So first thing I want to do is start by putting my given over 1, 3.79 kilograms. And then I go ahead and set up my conversion factor, and this is kilograms of H2O, by the way, right? Then I go ahead and set up my conversion factor, and that's going to come from these values here. So whatever I am trying to cancel out, I was given the mass in kilograms, I want to cancel that unit out, and I go to my conversion factor, but wait a second, my conversion factor doesn't have kilograms. I have grams of H2O, but not kilograms of H2O. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Okay, so what do I need to do in this case? It's important to know for these problems when you're converting from mass to moles and moles to mass, your unit of mass must be in grams. And if it's not, you need to convert it. All right, so let's go ahead and add that to the notes at the top. And so if we're starting with kilograms and we need to go to grams, to do that, what we're going to do is multiply it by 1,000. Okay? And if we're starting with milligrams and we want to go to grams, we're going to divide by that value by 1,000. Okay? So take a moment to write this down at the top of your handout. Okay, so going back to this problem, I need to multiply this number by 1,000 first in order to get it to be correct. So let me actually show you where that comes from. That comes from the fact that 1 kilogram is equal to 1,000 grams, and I can actually use dimensional analysis on this section to go to do my unit conversion. So I would put 1 kilogram in the bottom of this conversion factor fraction for this unit conversion, and then 1,000 grams on top. And then the kilograms will cancel out, and then what I'm doing here is I'm multiplying these two numbers. So that means that I'm starting off with actually 3,790 grams of H2O. All right. So all I've done so far, I just want to make this. All I've done so far in this section here is convert my kilograms to grams. This is actually not the work I need to do to solve this problem. All right. But this is an important step. So make sure that your units for mass are in grams. Okay, so let's go ahead now and actually do the work. So now that I have the right amount to start with, I'm going to start by writing 3,790 grams of H2O, my given, in the appropriate units over 1. Now I can go to my conversion factor for mass to moles. So I'm going to go up here and use this information for this conversion factor. Okay, so I'm starting off with grams of H2O. That means I want grams of H2O on the bottom, so those units can cancel out. And the number in front of grams of H2O here is 18.02. Use your units as your guide. And then on top, I'm going to put the 1 mole of H2O. Not 1, but 1 mole of H2O. You need the units here. There should be 2 units in this conversion factor. All right, so now I can go ahead and cancel out the units of grams of H2O. Nice. And now I can do my math. And so for this, I just use the numbers, not the units yet. So it's going to be 3,790 times 1. That's what goes in the top. So that's just essentially 3,790. And on the bottom, it's going to be 1 times 18.02. Remember, when you're multiplying fractions, you multiply straight across. So 18.02. All right, so when I go ahead and do the math, plug that into my calculator, I get 210. And what's the unit that I have left? Moles of H2O. So that tells me the moles that I want to have here. And I put the decimal at the end there so that I have the right number of sig figs, since I need to have 3 significant figures based on this number. Okay. All right, so that is it for that problem. Don't forget, whenever you are doing these problems, make sure you check your units. That's going to be your guide there.